According to the internet, and from what I've experienced in my own time here on Earth, we apparently need to breathe to survive. But what if I told you that you're breathing wrong? According to Sam Rystrom, breathwork coach and creator of the app One Deep Breath, it's estimated that upwards of 1 in 4 adults struggle with chronic hyperventilation. In fact, hyperventilation, or overbreathing, is something that a lot of us do without even being aware of it. Overbreathing triggers the stress response in the body, which can worsen digestion, anxiety, and sleep. And now that we're aware of that fact, what if I was to take this one step further and make the claim that you can learn to control your overbreathing and a wide variety of other emotional and physiological responses just by learning to take control of your breathing patterns? Allow me to introduce you to the wonderful world of breathwork. Now you're probably wondering, great, what sort of silly hippie nonsense is this? So, in lieu of my explanation, I will define breathwork with a quote from Emily Cronkleton, a writer for Healthline.com who happens to have a very fun last name to say, Cronkleton. She said, breathwork is defined as a variety of breathing exercises or techniques. People often perform them to improve mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. During breathwork, you intentionally change your breathing pattern. There are many forms of breathwork therapy that involve breathing in a conscious and systematic way. Many people find breathwork promotes deep relaxation or leaves them feeling energized. With that being said, you'll probably want to hear some less generalized and more direct effects that breathwork could have for you. And this brings me to my first point. Breathwork is a fantastic tool for reducing anxiety and becoming grounded in the present moment. According to Christopher Rhodes, a clinical neuropsychologist at Harborview Medical Center, when you're stressed or anxious, your breathing tends to be irregular and shallow. And when we practice deep, conscious breathing, which is also known as diaphragmatic breathing, we enable more airflow into our body. And that conscious decision calms our nerves and reduces stress and anxiety, and even improves mood and focus. So in other words, deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to our brains. This increase of oxygen stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes a state of calmness. An easy, quick breathing technique you can do to calm down, or even utilize when you're falling asleep, is known as the 4-7-8 breath. The 4-7-8 breath was popularized in May of 2015 by Dr. Andrew Weil, a Harvard-trained medical doctor and founder of the Arizona Center for Integrative Medicine. This technique involves breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds. Each time you exhale, this will begin a new round. Now, I'm going to demonstrate one round, and I hope that you'll follow along with me. So let's start. Remember, 4, 7, 8. So inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Like this. If you did that along with me, fantastic. Once again, that was one round of the 4-7-8 breath. I recommend starting with 4 rounds, but I would definitely go with 2 if you're prone to lightheadedness, and feel free to use it as much as you'd like once you're comfortable with the exercise. I highly recommend this exercise or method if you're ever experiencing an anxiety attack or any other fight or flight response. It's actually quite helpful. So maybe you're not interested in calming down. Maybe you're too calm. That's the problem. Or you're sleepy. And if so, don't you worry, because breathwork does have a variety of uplifting and energizing breathing patterns that can stimulate you, enhance focus, and maybe even add a pep to your step. So for my second point, I'm going to be discussing box breathing. Now this one's pretty neat, because interestingly enough, this technique is actually used regularly by the Navy. And according to Mark Devine, who is a former U.S. Navy SEALs commander and author of The Way of the SEAL, box breathing is a technique that helps you take control of your automatic breathing patterns to train your breath for optimal health and performance. So, not only does box breathing consciously alter your breath patterns to become slower and deeper, it also forces your mind to become focused and can give you a boost of energy. And that's great, but how do we do it? Well, the box breathing technique is probably one of the most simple, in my mind anyways. And what I like to do is imagine a square. On the top and bottom of that square, imagine the number 4. And on the sides, imagine it says hold or something. This is kind of like a imaginary visual I make in my head for this exercise. So what we're going to do is start there on the top, that 4. It's going to be a 4-second long breath in. And then that hold is going to be holding your breath for 4 seconds. And then it's going to be followed by 4 seconds of exhale. We're on the bottom of the box now, and that's a 4-second exhale. And then coming back up, the other side of the box here is another 4-second hold. So it's 4, 4, 4, 4, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And that's just a pattern that goes in a circle. And then we repeat. So just like we did with the last technique, I'm going to give you something to visualize. And I'd love it if you followed along. By visualize, I mean I'm going to do the exercise, and I want you to do it with me. So let's start with the 4-second inhale. So hold. Exhale. Hold. Great. Pretty straightforward. 4, 4, 4, 4. So, in summary, we've learned how utilizing breath work in our lives can give us clarity, relief from anxiety, a boost in focus, or even energy. And I challenge you to take a moment for yourself today. If you're feeling stressed, 4, 7, 8. If you're lacking focus, 4, 4, 4, 4. This truly is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to breath work. And if you're interested in learning more, there are tons of ancient traditional techniques that stem from yoga, Buddhism, Hindi and Sufi techniques, and even modern day instructors like Wim Hof that are taking a more science-based approach to, proving the powers of breath work and breathing to the world. There's some really interesting information out there, and I highly, highly recommend looking into it. So, thanks.